A MIGX TV is useful if you need to output a variable list of structured data. You want, for example, to create a page team on your website that displays some information about the team members. You could create a new resource for every member, and display the list with Get Resources. But if you don't need a separate web page for every member with a distinct URL, this is cumbersome. A better way to do this is to use a MIGX template variable. In the manager, on the tab Template Variables of the resource, the MIGX TV displays the list of team members in a grid. The grid has several columns. You can add new members by clicking an action button. A window opens. The window has different fields. There are text fields for the name and the job title. In the portrait field, it's possible to select an image. The items in the grid can be rearranged with drag and drop. With a right click, the context menu opens, with options to edit or delete an item. To create this TV, the first step is to create a MIGX configuration. Make sure the MIGX Extra is installed. In the top menu, go to Extras, MIGX. Click the Add Item button to create a new config. In the tab Settings, enter a name for this config. Keep the name simple. Don't use spaces or special characters to avoid problems. In the tab Form tabs, we define the fields of the update window. Click the button Add Item to create a tab, and Add Item again to create an input field. Fill in the field name. The field name is used to store the data, and to reference the field in the output. The field caption is for the field label in the window. We add a field for the name of the team member and for the job title. The default field type is a text field. For the field portrait we need a different type, so we set the value of input TV type to image. Save and close the windows. In the tab columns we define what gets displayed in the grid. With the button Add Item we can add new columns. The field header is for the header text that's displayed above the column. In Field, we define what data field gets displayed in this column. For our field portrait, we have to change the renderer to this render image, so that a thumbnail gets displayed. Save and close all the windows. Remember the name of the config, as we need it in short time. Go to the Elements tab and create a new template team page. Create a new template variable and give it a name. For example, Team TV. In the tab Input Options, change the input type to MIGX. Then in the field Configurations, enter the name of the config we created. In the tab Template Access, assign this new TV to the team page template and save the TV. Create a new resource and change the template to the team page template. Now in the tab Template Variables, there is an empty grid and you can start filling in the data. Where and how is the data stored? Like the other TV values, the data is stored in the database table MODX_site_table_var_content values. The data is stored in a JSON array. An ID column MIGX_ID was added for every item, and then there are the other fields we defined: name, job title and portrait. To output the data on the web page, use the snippet getImageList. In the property TV name, define the name of the TV to read the data from. Set the property TPL to the name of a chunk with markup for each item. We set it to TPL team. The snippet getImageList also has additional properties to, for example, filter and sort the list. Let's create a new chunk TPL team for the item template. To output the values of a team member, use placeholders with the field names. Save the chunk and go back to the resource. Now when we click the View button, the list of team members gets displayed on the front end. If you have a lot of data and want to be able to efficiently filter it, or join it with other database tables, it's better to store the data in its own database table. MIGXdb can be used for that. The first step is to create a custom database table. In the top menu, go to Extras, MIGX. Open the tab Package Manager. Fill in the package name. Choose something unique to avoid naming conflicts. Use lowercase letters and no spaces. In the tab Package, click the button Create Package. This created a new folder in Core Components with the package name. In the subfolder Model Schema, there is a sample schema that can be used as a template for our own schema. In the tag model, the package attribute has already the correct value. The tag object corresponds to a database table. The sample schema has 2 tables. We only need one. The attribute class is the name of the PHP class. The attribute table is the name of the corresponding database table. Make sure these values are unique. Our class extends XPDO simple object. So we inherit a primary key column ID from it. We add a field tag for every additional column. Our columns are name, job title and portrait, and they are all of type varchar. Save the changes, or alternatively go to the tab XML schema in the package manager, paste the schema and click the Save Schema button. Open the tab Schema and click on Parse Schema. This created files for our PHP class in a subfolder model, My Company. Change to the tab Create Tables and click the button with the same name. Verify in phpMyAdmin that the table MODX_MyCompany_team was created successfully. If that's not the case, check the MODX error log, as errors are not directly shown in the manager when clicking the buttons. The next step is to adjust the MIGX configuration. Go to the MIGX tab, right-click on the config and choose Edit. Then change to the tab MIGXdb Settings. In the field package, enter the name of the package we created. The field class name is for the name of the PHP class. Scroll down to the field check resource and set it to No. In MIGXdb, there are no default selections for action buttons and context menu items. Open the tab Action Buttons and select Add Item. This creates a button above the grid to add new items. Change to the tab Context Menus and select the options Update and Remove, to be able to edit and delete items in the grid. In the tab Columns, add a new column for the ID field. The column can be hidden in the grid, but it's necessary to have it. Save and close the configuration. Open the template variable Team TV and change the input type to MIGXdb. Save the changes and open the team resource. In the tab Template Variables, with a click on Load Grid, you can see the grid and start managing the data. The data is now stored in the custom database table. To output the data on the front end, instead of the snippet getImageList, we use the snippet MIGX loop collection. We set the property package name to the name of the custom package, and the property class name to the name of the PHP class. We add a property sort config, to define how the items are sorted in the output. With a click on View we can check if the output is correct. To output the data with a custom snippet, the code would look like this. Create a new snippet with the name getTeam. In the code we first have to add our custom package, so that the custom PHP class is known. Then we read the value of the property TPL from the snippet call. We create a new XPDO query for our custom class, and tell it to sort the data by the name field. With getCollection we query all the rows from the database. We loop over the rows and call the getChunk method for every row. Finally we return the concatenated result. In the resource, we change the snippet call from MIGX loop collection to our own snippet getTeam, and delete all the properties we no longer need. Viewing the page on the front end, we can see that we still get the same result. Usually for MIGXdb, instead of a template variable, a custom manager page is used to manage the data. To create a CMP, go to the cogwheel icon in the top menu and choose Menus. Click the Create Menu button to create a new menu item. Set the field lexicon key to a text of your choice. Enter index into the action field. In the field parameters put the value &configs equals and then the name of the MIGX configuration. Set namespace to MIGX. Save the menu item and move it to the position you want it to appear. When you reload the manager, the new menu item should be visible in the top menu. Click on it to open the custom manager page. The caption of the tab and the description show the text undefined. Let's change that in the configuration. Open the config, and go to the CMP Settings tab. Set the captions and tab description to appropriate texts. When to use MIGX and when MIGXdb. The advantages of MIGX are the following. MIGX is easier to set up. MIGXdb requires the creation of a package and a schema. If you don't want to output the data in alphabetical order, in MIGX the order of the items in the array reflects the sorting order. In MIGXdb you need an additional column to store the sorting position. If you want to assign your data to different resources, in MIGX this is built in, as it is a template variable. In MIGXdb you need to add an extra column to hold the resource ID. MIGXdb is better suited if you have a lot of data. Filtering and sorting the data can be done efficiently with SQL. In MIGX you have to loop through all the data in order to filter it. With your data stored in a database table, it's also possible to combine it with the data from other tables by using SQL joins. Updating parts of the data is also easier. In MIGX, you have to read the whole JSON string, convert it to a PHP array, update the data, convert it back to JSON and save it. In SQL, a single row can be updated individually. If you want to be able to access the data via a REST API, storing it in a custom table is also preferable.